I knew that raising capital might look easier today, but capital comes with a lot of responsibility as well. You tend to commit a lot of mistakes as well, and I would rather do those mistakes with my own money than with someone else's money.
And I believe you're talking about 500 crore rupees target
That's right.
for the group as a whole for next 3 years.
3 years, that's right.
And I believe you're already at 100 crore plus as we speak.
That's right. Criticality in running multiple businesses lies wherein you know for a fact that you don't know anything about the business. You have to be the least important person in the room. As long as you are ready to let your ego go off and ready to listen to the expert, I think multiple businesses can be managed. Second is in the bootstrapped business, you should only be obsessed with one matrix, which is your cash flow cycle. To take example of Amazon, they don't make money because they sell everything to everyone. It has to be balanced growth, it has to be responsible growth. And if you are doing that, and if your product is right, if your positioning, pricing, people are right, external money will automatically come. Optimism helps you change the perspective, whether you see a problem in the solution or you see a solution in the problem.
At the times when startups are celebrated when they burn or when they raise new funds, there are businesses who have actually built themselves out of internal accruals. They are called the bootstrap businesses, and they are the ones who actually create something which is there for life. Amongst all, we have some of the very beautiful businesses that are built. There are beautiful entrepreneurs who have actually built these businesses, which are worth talking about. Today we have with us Rahul Agarwal, a very dear friend, who has built not one, but 7 different businesses, made money, exited, all without raising a VC fund. Thanks a lot, Rahul, for being with us.
Thanks for having
Today
me.
we are going to be discussing your journey of the past life and the future that you are trying to build with. So first of all, welcome. And and when somebody talks about Rahul Agarwal, I guess the first thing that comes is Organic House, a business that you built in 9 years, 2 million plus customers, 10,000 plus pin codes, and an enormous value of 300 odd crore rupees that you built without raising a single penny. Can you please, share a bit of journey that you have had with Organic Harvest?
So, Organic Harvest was started with a clear thought process that we wanted to give organic personal care range to the consumers at a price point where substantial mass could afford it. When we started Organic Harvest, there was nothing on the lines of organic personal care range. It was either herbal, natural, or Ayurvedic, but nothing on the lines of organic range. People started eating organic food. They were using organic cotton as well, but nothing on the lines of organic face wash, organic shampoos, or organic lip balms, etc. So we saw a clear gap area there, and that's how we started Organic Harvest. And when we launched the brand, that was in 2013, there was nothing called D2C. There was either B2B or B2C. So D2C came in much later. So we started with a traditional distribution network. We established the distributors across metros as well as tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 cities as well, and placed our beauty advisor, what we call the promoter, across the high footfall general trade, modern trade outlet. And the beauty advisor would talk to the consumers, and they would educate the concept of organic to the consumers. That's how we started spreading awareness about the organic versus the non-organic products. So yeah, that's how we started, and eventually when COVID hit the world, we pivoted from offline heavy business to an online as well. And that's when the Good Glam Group also happened. That's how the journey went.
Interesting. And what about the bootstrap part of the story? Is it that it was forced, or is it that that was part of your business plan wherein you didn't really want to, raise quick money and kind of?
I would say a mix of both. In the hindsight, I knew that raising capital might look easier today, but capital comes with a lot of responsibility as well. And when you are doing something which has not been done in an established industry, you tend to commit a lot of mistakes as well, and I would rather do those mistakes with my own money than with someone else's money. So and yes, because organic as a concept was very new to the Indian consumers as well as in Indian investors as well. So it was both a little forced and little conscious decision as well.
And a bit before that, you had another business which was into education. Uh, how come from a chartered accountant rank holder who's worked extensively into one of the big fours, which means that you were an expert in finance,
Yeah.
coming to the education, working for the US government, then to uh, the healthcare, that too in a niche.
Yeah.
Clearly, the organic was a niche.
That's right.
At the time when you actually started.
That's right.
How's this fancy about working on different new business ideas?
Yeah, so let me clear one thing here. I am very bad at numbers here. So I may be a chartered accountant, but uh, numbers are something I always try to avoid. So education, yeah, so that happened, and it's a very funny story around that as well. I started with a very different idea. The idea was that we wanted to teach Indian culture to students outside India, and so anything to do with Indian history, Indian mythology, and anything to do with around the Indian culture. Working in that idea for 6 months, we realized that there were no takers for it. People were really not willing to pay for something which was available free of cost over the internet. That's how from Indian culture we shifted to the academic subjects. And again, in academic subjects, we were not focusing on B2C model. We worked with the US federal government. Our client was the federal government. The services were made available free of cost to the students. So that's how the model was a little different from a traditional B2C model as well. From education to organic harvest, so I would say I have a knack to of identifying gap areas. As I said earlier as well, in organic harvest the gap area was organic range of personal care products. So anything, I try and think from a consumer's lens, what a consumer might be needing from not now, maybe 2 3 years down the line, and that really helps in making the right decision. Yeah.
So, these days, the recent podcast that Elon Musk had with Nitin Kamath, I guess one of the highlight is that that guy thinks 10 years from now.
Oh,
He's
absolutely.
not somebody who's talking about what is going to happen in 6 months.
That's right.
And I think this is what you are trying to touch upon, that, try and understand what would the consumer be looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there is a famous saying, Mr. Ford said that if I had asked my consumers what they wanted, they would say we needed fast horses.
Oh, yes.
And he did not listen to them, and he built the cars, and that's what the consumers wanted. So really, it's good to listen to your consumers, but it's sometimes better if you build something which the consumers may need in the future.
So this is where the grand vision of an entrepreneur which comes in. I guess we'll talk about it a bit later. But when we are talking about building a bootstrap business, uh, which is where the organic harvest comes in. So there is always that bit wherein you see that there is money which is available in the market. It is cheap money that way, because to be very frank, equity doesn't have a value till the value is really known. And on the other hand, there is that urge of building a business which can stay for long. And I clearly know that we've been in touch for good 25 years now, that you are the one who always prefer to build a business which has a lasting impact, right, on the business, on the people who are attached to the business and the society as well. So what is your thought process around building a business which is bootstrapped and staying there for long, which is, at times one might say that it is revenue over cash. At times somebody might say cash versus valuation. How do you look at these metrics when you are building a business?
So I would say the external capital is not cheap. I would say this is the most expensive money that you can ever think of, because it does not come only with the cost, but it comes with the responsibility as well.
For sure.
So and I have been trying to avoid the external money as far as possible in my professional career till now. That's one. Second is, in the bootstrapped business, you should only be obsessed with one matrix, which is your cash flow cycle. And I believe, I'm a firm believer of this thing, that the businesses don't die of competition, they die because of lack of cash flow. So your cash cycle should be negative. If you take example of Amazon, they don't make money because they sell everything to everyone. They make money because they take money from their customers upfront and then pay their vendors after 45 days. So effectively their growth is being funded by their customers. So I think that's the one matrix that you need should be obsessed about if you want to build a bootstrapped startup.
I have, during the research, I read that somewhere that you have said something about that. You said that you can build business not by investing your money, but investing your customers' money.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I would say this is the cheapest way to fund your expansion, no? And it gives you a lot of proof of concept as well. If your customers are ready to pay you for your services or product,
Oh yes.
then what else do you need?
Oh yes. And a bit about the exit that you did with Good Clam Group, and I'm sure every decision is made at that point in time, and at the in the hindsight there can be different ways to look at it. But can you dwell a bit deep into what was the thought process when you ultimately took a call that okay, probably the asset is going to be better managed by that by the buyer.
Yes.
What's your thought process around? What was your thought process at that point in time?
So we had, when the deal with Good Glam happened, it was in 2021. We had been running that business since last 8 9 years, and we thought the idea was that if we can give it to someone who can now take it to the next level in terms of consumer communication, in terms of new product development as well, and in terms of bringing some professional team who can do better job than what I have done till now. So the thought process was simple, again consumer focused. The question that we asked ourselves were whether my consumers would be happy to know that I have passed on the baton to someone else who can do better job than me. If the answer was yes, then the decision was simple.
So while we are talking about bootstrap businesses, bringing something, building something which is there for long term, and probably at some point in time handing it over to a player who can actually make that business bigger. In your case, you closed one or you shifted out of one business and then started something which is not one but six new businesses. And somewhere I was reading that you've mentioned somewhere that my only VC fund is exiting Organic Harvest. The new thing is called Rasa. Can you please help us understand what does Rasa mean? Where does this name come from?
It goes by my initials and my father's initial. So RA stands for Rahul Agarwal, SA stands for Suresh Agarwal. That's how, yeah.
Okay. And from education to um, organic personal care to a plethora of different businesses, which at the first sight somebody would say, why would somebody open such six different businesses out of nowhere? Because people still call it that somebody has to be a domain expert to create some. While we'll well deep into it, as in is that really required? But let's just get into detail of all of these six businesses. But before that, how do you structure it? Because humanly it is not possible for one person to be able to um, harvest, nurture six different businesses. Obviously there'll be different type of people who come along. There'll be different type of domain expertise that these guys would have. How do you structure a mini conglomerate, if so to say?
So yeah, I mean, on the face of it, it may look like that I am driving the whole Rasa group, but yeah, at the back end, if you see, there's a whole bunch of people who are domain expert driving the individual division slash business. So the way it is structured is that every division is being headed by a CXO who is the domain expert, supported by the common function team. So we have the common group for finance, for MIS, for your logistics, for your digital marketing, for customer acquisition. Everything is common for all the businesses. The consumer facing or customer facing team is separate for different businesses, led by, as I said, the CXO who has the domain expertise in that business. As far as my role is concerned, I believe in making myself the least important person in the room. So I only take the strategic decisions as far as the grand vision for the group slash business is concerned, responsible for allocating capital as well, and then ensuring that everything is going as per the vision. Rest day to day grind is done by the local heroes.
So while you were building Organic Harvest, it would have been one single dream for 9 years that you have had. Is it now the six different dreams that you have, or is it a one single dream,
Yeah, so
one
yeah,
single
dream remains
target actually?
remains single. Now it's unified under Rasa, so dream is always one. But under Rasa there are six branches.
Yeah, and I believe you're talking about 500 odd crore rupees target
That's correct.
for the group as a whole for next 3 years.
3 years. That's right.
And I believe you're already at 100 crore plus as we speak.
That's correct.
Right. So let's just delve a bit deep into those six businesses that you are trying to build, and I'm sure there will be story behind everything. And let's just start with the the adventure business. You call it Adventex,
That's right.
which is primarily about uh, adventure tourism for targeting towards Indian, Janta, which is actually growing pretty fast,
That's
with
right.
more than 20% year-on-year growth. Specifically, the new age Indians who are happy spending money for the tourism, for the adventure, and this is clearly a completely unorganized market. There's just no
Yes.
single player who's existent. Can you please help us understand what is the thought behind that?
Yeah, so the inspiration came from my recent trip to Cappadocia. That's where the world comes to experience the hot air balloon ride. That was around 3 years back, and when I saw the experience and the customers coming there, I saw a clear opportunity why we can't do the similar or maybe a better experience in India. And we may not have to be dependent on the foreign tourists. We have such a huge population for ourselves as well, and that's one. Second, there are a lot of consumers in India who may not afford to go to Cappadocia, for that matter to Dubai as well. Why not bring the same or better experience to them, closer to their home? So that was the thought behind it. And we started with hot air balloon. Then we realized that there are other activities that can also go well with that. So we added a powered paraglider. We added ATVs and other ancillary activities as well. So the idea is to give the world class experience at a price where the substantial mass of the Indian consumers can afford.
Got you, got you. And this is something that you started about a year ago,
Year and a half now, yes.
year and a half now. From an adventure tourism to the luxury cars. Uh, what do you call it? I guess
Friday night cars.
Friday night cars,
That's right.
focusing on ultra high end cars imported from outside India, converted to India, customized to Indian requirements,
That's right.
and then selling to the who's who of the world. So the one which is targeting a typical middle class India to the one which is targeted towards the who's who in India.
That's right.
Friday night cars.
That's right. Yeah, so again, this is the idea came from our own experience. Around a year and a half back, I was looking for an SUV for myself. Um, the ones which were available in Indian market, most of them I had either already driven or I had already rejected. So then we saw that there are a lot of American cars which the Indian consumers aspire to buy, but they are not able to, and the reasons were multi-fold. One, either those cars were not made as per the Indian regulatory requirements. Majority of them were the left hand drive ones. In India, you have to have the right hand drive vehicle. That's one. Second, even if the regulatory requirements were met, it's really not easy to import an automobile in India because of the multiple steps that you have to go through. That's second. And third is, even if you can import, then who will do the after sale service, the warranty, and the spare parts, everything? So these were the three pain points that we saw, and then we thought that why not bring everything under one roof. So from sourcing, conversion, importing, after sales, everything will be done by us, and you just need to give us the check and we will ensure that we get your dream car to your doorstep.
So if you want to buy a Hummer and drive in India, I guess he's the guy to talk to.
Hummer as well as 10 more cars.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
because Hummer is
Yeah,
something
let's
that you
start
not
off with
see.
let's start off with Hummer. I don't mind if you start off with Hummer.
Because I believe that it started with Hummer only. You were
That's
trying
right.
to
Yeah. So the idea
buy
was
a
that
Hummer and like
Hummer in itself, it has an intrinsic brand pull in India.
Hmm.
It has been the old Hummer was owned by who's who of the Indian celebrity world,
Yeah.
and the consumers tend to resonate well with that car. That's how we started with Hummer, but we have 10 more cars on the same
Sure.
lines.
And you've been into organic skincare, and then there's another business called Sarvagun, which is into Ayurveda. Um, this is again a hot topic in India. You know, a lot of people have started talking about alternative medicines. Thanks to Baba Ramdev, thanks to a lot other people who have done great work around
That's
it. But that still is something which is at a nascent stage in terms of the acceptance or in
That's
terms of the availability of quality Ayurveda healthcare within India. So a bit about Sarvagun.
Yeah, so the vision on Sargun is that what Germans did with homeopathy, we Indians can do maybe a better job with Ayurveda. So, and especially after COVID, the acceptance of Ayurveda has increased multifold. And it is not seen only from the perspective of a disease curing thing. It's now fitting very well in the wellness space as well. So your 6 hours detox therapy, 3 days, the other therapies as well. So that's the thought, and we want to take it to the world, from India to the world. Started off with one boutique hospital in Delhi, and once everything is set, we know the SOPs, we know the other processes as well. We will take it to the pan India as well as outside India as well.
So apart from Ayurveda, the next thing is about food. And we are talking about a 5.7 trillion business, which is, I think, more than 50%, 57, 58% of that still belongs to the street hawkers. Indians love drooling onto the street food.
Yeah.
But at the same point in time, there is this
I
thought
am
about
one of them. Yeah.
yeah, you're
Yeah.
one of them. I
Yeah.
get to know that
Yeah.
you love North Indian food.
That's right.
We have had certain cases of sharing some of that fun together as well. So on one side we are talking about Ayurveda, organic, and on the other hand we still have that inner urge of
Having chole bhaturas.
bhature.
Yeah.
So this is where where your new business, the other business comes in, which is about food, and that's a unique one wherein you are talking about having a digital imprint, wherein the same location person can have different experiences
That's
of
it.
food. So can you
Yeah, so the thought behind G Bharke is two. One is that can we organize the street food of India? Because if you see, there is no one the pan India brand who is selling chole bhature, or who is selling maybe chaat, or who is selling maybe Amritsari naan and kulcha. So that was a thought. And second was that there are a lot of legacy brands who are doing good in small pockets, who are known in small pockets. Even in Delhi, there are maybe thousands of legacy brands who may be famous for their own cuisines slash dishes, but they aspire to go to the masses and reach out to more consumers, but because of the logistics and the vision and other things, they are not able to do that. So is there a way that we can marry these two, organize the street food of India, and then make all the legacy brands come under one roof? That was the thought behind Ji Bhar Ke, and that's how we started. And what we did was that we said to the legacy guy that whatever you have been doing till now, you will keep doing that. We will bring the organizational structure to your setup. We will take the your product and sell it under one brand, which is Ji Bhar Ke. So Ji Bhar Ke is selling your Virat Kohli's favorite chole bhature, that's Rama chole bhature. It's selling Brijwasi ki kulfi. It's selling Nukkad Chaat wala ka chaat as well. So all the legacy brands under one roof, catering to different locations.
Got it. Which means that the recipe remains that of the legacy brand.
That's right.
You end up becoming a point of sales.
You can call us an aggregator. You can call us a platform which is helping them to serve the different audience or different locations. It's just that we are helping them bringing everything under one roof.
So will it be more like a food court outlet, or will it be more like
a mini food court within food court? So multi cuisine restaurant, but serving legacy brands rather than introducing your own recipes slash dishes.
Got it. That's interesting. So we have served the who's who of India. We've served the mid income with good food, quality healthcare.
That's right.
What about the home?
So in terms of home, you mean to talk about the next gen?
The Avni?
Avni, okay. Yeah, so this happens to be one of the closest to my heart. So Avni Infratech is a new age real estate developer. We are present in Delhi NCR market primarily, and Goa. We started off this division in around 4 years back from now. I actually again accidentally started. I was holding a land parcel in Sonipat, and the land parcel was purchased to build a residential school there. When we started talking about that, we realized that school is something, it's a very slow business, which was unlike to my liking. So the thought shifted from school to real estate from there. Then from one project to another, it kept happening. From Sonipat to Sona, then Sona to Goa. That's where we are.
I have a very strong liking of real estate. People who know me closely understands.
I can smell that. The kind of smile that
exactly.
you have. Yeah.
So you talk about real estate, and we won't eat anything. We
That's
just discuss about it, and I can very clearly see that once you get a hang of it, it's a great business to be in. Obviously, you need to be sure that it is as transparent as it could be, and if you could organize it, you can actually make.
That's what we bring on to the table differently. That's real estate. Everyone knows. I mean, if you like it or hate it, it's a little opaque industry. Even the bigger names in the industry are not very transparent as far as their dealings are concerned. So that's where we want to bring change in the industry. But we will be very transparent. Be it your at the time of sales, development, post sales, everything will be transparent. And we believe that does not matter if you do 10 projects or 100 projects. If the transparency is there, you will eventually grow.
Makes sense, and that's gonna be there because with AI, without AI, real estate is one thing that that's always
real,
and which is real.
Yeah.
Great. And here it comes to the sixth business. I hope at this point in time the last, and I don't know, by the time this podcast gets released, you would have the seventh one. So
you can never bet any dollar on me.
Oh yes. so so which is about laundry,
That's it.
again a very highly unstructured, unorganized business. Obviously it's a $1 billion plus business already in India, but I believe 95% of that would
It's
come in
unorganized.
from the mom and pop shops
That's it.
or the local dhobis. And the aspiring Indians do believe, because they are now buying expensive clothes, they want somebody to take care of them as well.
That's it.
So can you
That's one,
help?
and then they are buying time for themselves as well.
They're buying time for themselves for
That's
sure.
it.
That's there as well. So can you please help us? A very quick background about how the next gen came into play.
So yeah, again, the thought was organizing the unorganized market, and we saw two gap areas there. One, if you go outside India, people, most of the households, they don't do their laundry in home. The daily tasks have majorly daily tasks have been outsourced to someone who specializes in them. That's one. And second, because of the fast paced life that we all are living, especially in metros and tier 1 cities, if someone, an expert, can come in and take care of our expensive clothes, why not do that and buy back the time for ourselves? So, and if the current setup, more than 95% of the dry cleaners slash launderers are unorganized. And when we say unorganized, that means that they are either one, two, or three shops running based on their own experiences, no SOPs, no seamless experience, and no tech slash digital intervention. So that's what we bring on the table. We said that we would reach out to the new age consumers who are tech savvy, who want to take care of their clothes, who want to buy time for themselves, and we will interact with them, we will acquire them in the digital world. The everything, the processing from the pickup of the clothes till the time it is delivered back to the consumer's house, it will be done by us. So we have a hub and spoke model wherein the customer facing point remains multi, and then all the garments are processed at one big factory, and then vice versa, from factory to the customer facing point, and then back to home.
Sure. So we are talking about six different businesses, all of them which are getting operated in a market which is significantly unorganized, so to say. The competition is generally unorganized, but at the same point in time, there is a growing need for each of those services or products that you are trying to sell. So the thought is, how do you make money? How do you create business while some of these unorganized businesses move towards the organized part of the Indian economy?
Yeah.
So let's get into details about organizing the unorganized.
Sure.
Yeah. So you've done that in part when you were trying to do organic harvest, but obviously that was a business which was supposed to be slightly bigger than what it was. So, and hence, you would not be comparing yourself with a unorganized player.
Correct.
But in all of these businesses that you are trying to build, one common thread is that they are getting operated in a highly unorganized market. While there is a huge opportunity, then there comes the challenges as well. For example, an Indian consumer is used to talk to the mom and pop shop owner while
There's a
when he
I
hands
mean,
over,
yeah, there's a
right? Yeah,
repo also built between these
that's
two,
rapport
and
is
it
there.
has taken them years to do that.
Exactly. While we have seen a lot of businesses like 1mg that they have done with the pharmacy business,
Yeah.
so there is an opportunity, is clear. But how do you look at this as a challenge or opportunity, which is about organizing the unorganized markets in India?
So I would say we are at the cusp of that evolution, and every economy, every consumer goes through this evolution cycle, wherein the start happens in an unorganized manner. Then the GDP kicks off, the per capita income increases. Then from unorganized to organized shift happens automatically. There is no conscious effort at the consumer's end as well as the business end to do that, but it happens just because of all the ecosystem is supporting that. And I believe that Indian economy is at a stage wherein this shift will happen automatically. Be some of the industries will happen maybe in a shorter span, and some of may take a little longer, but this have to happen because the worldwide we have a lot of case studies which has happened. So and if you ask me, really the shortest of the time would be taken by my dry cleaning and laundry businesses, because this is something which not only targeted to the top tier 1 consumers, but a middle class consumer is also fed up with the daily jhanjat of doing the clothes at home. Or if you're not or if you're, or actually if you're a working couple who would be willing to do a daily का झकझक with the maid, and maid भी आएगी, कपड़े खराब करेगी, कभी आएगी कभी नहीं आएगी. Why would you want to do that if you can outsource your daily work to someone who is expert in that? So yeah, firm believer कि होना तो है. It may happen now. In some businesses it may take some longer, but again I have the patient capital. I don't I don't owe an outsider to return the capital to them, so I am okay to wait.
Yeah, so you can actually wait while some of these grow faster and the other one take their own sweet time. And which is where I was actually trying to touch upon two different aspects to it. One is the organization bit of it, but before that, I guess dwelling a bit deep into the way you look at the business, or at times when I look at my audience, we work with a lot of entrepreneurs who've done really good in one business and are at times thinking of doing something else as well. And then there is this question that always comes that, better focus completely on one business, make it big, or should I rather be an investor? And I think you are somewhere in between, wherein you are saying I am an investor, I'm effectively a fund manager or a private equity investor who's looking at these businesses very closely. So I am not married to it in the sense that the 9 years one business. I am happy to see more experts creating the business while I am kind of being an enabler to them. Right. So I would want you to touch upon that bit, because that's something which is an interesting question. Because when somebody talks about one person running multiple business, this is one standard question that comes in. That is it really?
कैसे करोगे?
Does it really make sense?
That's right.
But you add a layer to it, saying, okay, I do not need to be a science expert to run a great science business, right? Which means that I need to have a right set of team available. And how do you look at that? Because for every business, a real estate guy is a completely different breed versus somebody who's doing adventure tourism, for example, right? And the same way, an Ayurveda doctor has a completely different thought process versus the food person that we are talking to, right? Which effectively means that as an investor or as an entrepreneur, you would be wearing different hats when you talk to different people. And I think your experience around that should be very helpful for us.
Yeah, so as I said, the criticality in running multiple businesses lies wherein you know for fact that you don't know anything about the business. You have to be the least important person in the room and let the expert guide you. As long as you are ready to let your ego go off and ready to listen to the expert, I think multiple businesses can be managed. That's one. Second, as long as you are not really emotionally too much involved in one concept, you can easily allocate your capital effectively. So that's where we have done it beautifully. So each business is being headed by a CXO who knows far better than what I know about that particular business, and I let him take the day-to-day decisions, as long as those decisions lie within the framework of the grand vision that we have for particular business. So yeah, I think it's going fantastic. I don't see any reason why would not all the businesses scale up one day, as long as it is within the vision for the division.
Sure. And at Zotter, Rahul, we we actually closely follow this bit, which is we say that an entrepreneur needs to be a generalist, right? If he ends up becoming an expert in one area, generally looking at other parts of the business becomes tough.
That's
You know,
right.
you always say that if the CEO comes in from a production background, it's very tough for a marketing guy or a finance guy to even explain it to him.
That's right.
Which is why we at Zotter we always say that a great entrepreneur is somebody who's a generalist, who's willing to listen to others and is open to say that okay, there is an expert or a CXO who's doing his job and his job is much better than mine.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, fully agree with you.
So I can very closely relate to your thought process around
Fully
it,
agree.
and which is where the value comes out.
That's correct.
So interesting. So from your point of view, from your viewpoint, when you look at other entrepreneurs, you look at other people building businesses, there are different ways people work on it, but you generally see that there is a standard set of ethos which kind of help bring all of them together, right? And in your case, when I look at Rasa, or for that matter when you build Organic Harvest, and a great credit to you for that, because I can see a lot of your team members who worked with you during Organic Harvest times still work with you.
That's right.
And for that matter, I guess the whole of the core team remains the same.
That's correct. Maybe from the education division,
From the
education
education.
business. Yeah.
So which speaks a lot about the leadership skills and the leadership style, because that means that you've been able to help them grow along.
That's right.
Right? And which obviously brings a great value to the group as well. But amongst all, I see that you speak a lot about optimism when it comes to the leadership style.
Yeah.
Optimism with respect to the business, with respect to how consumers behave. And generally, if I look at it, it brings a lot of change in the way you look at things. Even a problem becomes an opportunity when you start looking at it from the lens of optimism. How do you see that having an impact on what you have done till now? And how could it have an impact on the things in the future as well?
Yeah, so I think you said it very rightly. Optimism helps you change the perspective, whether you see a problem in the solution or you see a solution in the problem. So for an entrepreneur to be successful, I think that's a prerequisite. If you are not optimistic about the future, about the product, about your business and about your team, you'll not be able to inspire the rest of the organization. And I am a generally optimistic guy. That's one my trait. And second, overall, if you see the Indian economy, I don't see any reason not to be optimistic. In last 15-20 years, we have come a long way, and from here it's going to be a hockey stick growth for us. So generally, the overall ecosystem is also supporting that view. And as a person, I am an optimistic person as well.
Generally, from an entrepreneur's perspective, somebody who has the grand view, the vision versus for the sake of right word to be used, somebody who's closer to being an insane. At times, the entrepreneur is seen as either an insane guy or a grand visionary, because vision, a person becomes visionary once his vision is succeeded. Somebody you've seen that converted into the reality, right? But if at all that doesn't happen, you're very close to being an insane guy. How does your team look at you when you come up with that optimism, when anything which is thought to be?
Yeah, I tell you what, so there is a famous saying in my team कि राहुल कुछ सपना देख के आएगा और अगले दिन implement कर देगा. So that's the kind of insanity they see in me. But having said that, I think we all are insane to a little extent. कुछ कम है, कुछ ज़्यादा है. And if you look at from my perspective, जो जितने ज़्यादा insane है उतने ज़्यादा वर्ल्ड चेंजिंग इनिशिएटिव्स वो ले रहे हैं. So insanity तो चाहिए. बिना उसके तो you will not be motivated enough to do things which can challenge the status quo.
बट राहुल, वो सपना तो क्यूरियोसिटी से आता है.
Correct.
And I believe that curiosity is another important bit
That's right.
that we have discussed on and off, and I believe within the team that becomes an important part,
That's
because
correct.
this is something which actually can take you to the next level. Asking the right set of questions of curiosity.
That's it.
How do you look at curiosity versus optimism within your team, or the way the businesses are being built?
So a very important aspect again, शायद अगर हम curious नहीं होते तो आज हम 6 businesses नहीं कर रहे होते. All these businesses started with a little curiosity कि अगर ऐसा बाहर हो सकता तो इंडिया में क्यों नहीं हो सकता, अगर इंडिया में ऑलरेडी हो रहा है तो अनऑर्गेनाइज क्यों हो रहा है. सो दैट्स द काइंड ऑफ क्यूरियोसिटी दैट लेड टू ऑल दीज बिजनेसेस. एंड क्योंकि हम वी आर ऑप्टिमिस्टिक बाय नेचर, curiosity happens or comes automatically to us. So all these things are related, and there are days when you are not 100%, you are maybe down and out, but these things pull you up. If you are a little curious, a little insane, and a little creative, these things will pull you back up.
And then the last and the most important thing, which every entrepreneur keeps asking, how do you instill it as a culture in the team?
So there is no conscious effort to do that. I think people follow the leader, and they you won't believe your slightest of your action is being noticed by your team members very closely. So don't overdo anything, don't do anything consciously, just bring it to your natural instincts, and people will follow. That's how the cultures are built.
But when it comes to if I were to imagine the way your business, your office would be looking at, because there are 6 different type of people, there are literally 6 different animals, right?
Or maybe 60 below them.
60 below them. So some are predators and some are the ones
adapters. Maybe some are adapters
could be the adapters at times, right? But at the same point in time, the culture could be different, right? Because a real estate thought process is significantly different from what a food guy would be working on, right? Because in your case, it is significantly different from what what was expected from a real estate guy versus
Correct.
a food venture guy.
Correct.
Which effectively means that when it comes to culture, the definition of that culture becomes important, and at the same point in time, instilling that into all of them becomes equally tough. I really want to hear some of those challenges that you face, because you've talked a lot about the positives, but I'm sure it's not so hunky-dory, it's not so easy at the end of the day.
Honestly, it is. If you
here comes the optimistic guy.
Correct. Yeah. So again, if you are a firm believer or something, you will that thing will reflect in your day-to-day tasks. So there are certain times when we also make mistake in hiring a wrong person in the team. So, but effectively what happens is, if generally your team is aligned with your vision, if generally the team are sticking together and be with you, that wrong person either will mend ways, become the right person as he moves along with you, or he will move out. So that's a general phenomena, unless until you keep hiring more and more wrong people, and then the right people also become the wrong people. So but generally what I have seen in my last 25 odd years of professional experience, कि अगर आपके core team is right, then even if a wrong person is hired, he becomes the right person. That's one. Second, as I'm saying, core team. So I have few people that have been with me since my education venture space. So there are people who started with operations moved on and did the MIS, now taking care of your digital customer acquisition. Similarly, started with operations, did logistics, and now taking care of again customer facing operations. So the core team has to be there with you if you want to build that or keep that culture going on.
Sure, great. So we started this conversation with building a bootstrapped business, moved towards talking about building a conglomerate, so to say. And during that conversation, we touched a bit about what kind of ethos
Yeah,
that come in and how an expert can actually play a great role into it.
that's right.
What about money? Before we close this conversation, I really want to hear from you. Uh, Amongst all that we talked about, where would you peg money, which is the money required to run these businesses,
Mm.
or the numbers game when
Mm.
it comes to when you talked about cash flows
Yeah.
being very important. So amongst all, where would you peg money? um, if I were to actually connect with my audience who keeps talking about the thing that I've got a great team, the product is great,
Yeah.
they are able to do the execution,
Yeah.
but with the growth, you always need that extra money, right? And hence you need to keep a balance around that.
That's good.
So, and which is where that urge of raising an external capital comes into play,
That's right.
As a closing note, I would really want to hear from you, how do you keep a balance between a strong execution, a good bootstrap business versus an urge of raising funds, and at the same point in time making sure that I know my targets will be met with the money that I have in the pocket?
So I think money is important, no doubt about it, as you need to pay rents every month, you need to pay salaries, you need to keep that engine going on. You just cannot run out of cash. I would say that I personally closely monitor only one matrix. As far as if the cash flow is positive, rest everything will be taken care of. So the your cash conversion cycle has to be in a manner wherein you are not putting your growth from your own capital or from your own pocket. If that matrix is taken care of, your working capital, your growth capital, everything will be managed. So uh, some of the audiences may differ from my view that growth at the cost of maybe raising it from outside world, I am not from that school of thought. It has to be balanced growth, it has to be responsible growth. And if you are doing that, and if your product is right, your positioning, pricing, people are right, external money will always will automatically come to you.
You actually shared some of the heavy words that people talk, but in our experience, you have seen entrepreneurs actually getting stuck there. But anyways, the CFOs are the people who can actually help decode those words for you. So we've talked a lot about the serious part of the business. Let's touch upon the softer part of it. So I have some questions that have come from the team, and they wanted to hear it out from you.
Sure.
I hope you would give obvious answer to that. So if you were to describe the whole journey from organic harvest to Rasa in the form of a movie title, what would that be?
I would say kal ho na ho, life is short, let's do it today.
Let's do it today.
Yeah.
Interesting. If you could instantly, if you were to launch another startup, uh, just for fun, what would that be?
बस कर भाई, पहले यही कर लेते हैं, 6 को स्केल कर लेते हैं. Enough in my plate.
If you could take your entire leadership team to a location, or an inspirational trip, or a destination, what would that be and why?
Yeah, so हम लोग तो इंस्पिरेशनल ट्रिप पे जाते नहीं हैं. आई ऑलवेज हायर इंस्पिरेशनल पीपल एंड आई जस्ट डायरेक्ट देम और गिव देम द विजन. बट यस हम मस्ती करने बहुत जाते हैं एंड आवर एनुअल ऑफ साइट इज अबाउट टू कम वी आर गोइंग टू बाली दिस ईयर last year we went to cruise so and these 7 days पूरे साल हम 7 दिन की वेट करते हैं and it's all fun.
And if you were to give a car to some of the best performers, people that have been there with you for past 25 years, I know there is a startup around that. What would that be?
Hummer? Oh, my love of my life.
Interesting. If you had to eat only one cuisine for next 1 month, what would that be?
Okay, depending on the season. सर्दी है तो शायद गोभी के पराठे और गर्मी है तो कर्ड राइस.
Curd rice. Interesting. So I had heard that North Indian food is what you love.
एक महीने तक नहीं खा सकते ना उसको पूरा. I have to keep myself fit as well.
It's fit as well, sure. If you could teleport into into the past and you were to give yourself one advice about the action that you have done, what would that be?
Yeah, so I would do, I would go back to my education venture days and I would advise myself to scale up much faster. I think that's a regret that I still have.
And I think that's the learning that you are implying.
Yes, absolutely. That's
that is
where
there
that's,
in
yeah,
all the discussion that we have
that's
had.
correct. That's correct.
Great. It was pleasure talking to you, Rahul.
Thank you.
And
Thanks,
we
Arun.
look forward to talk to you in more details about each and every each of those 6 businesses that you have, and spend good 1 hour talking about just one thing.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Arun.
Thanks
Thanks
a
for
lot.
having me.
Thanks
here.
for
Thank you.
being
Lovely
with us.
chatting
Thank
with
you.
you. Thank you.